All right, we're live streaming. Yeah, I don't think I have Ross's number. Should I ask someone? I can.
Is he leading tonight's meeting?
So Sarah is, she has some medical things happening. She's not able to make it. So I think she was expecting Ross to lead the
Okay.
meeting. Do you have his number?
I think so.
I got you.
Should I run down and see if he's at the door?
Then get old Jonathan set up. I think this gives us a core. So if somebody feeling leadery today, go ahead. Lead us through. I would, but I'm not an official board member. Which I can do.
Well, all right, guys,
Yeah.
here we are.
Yeah. Hey.
We're calling the meeting to order. It is 6:06.
You got this.
We're live streaming. Every night, man. Okay. All right. So we have the agenda. Do you have a motion to approve?
Motion to approve.
Whatever, 1 second.
Say.
Gonna be a
All
very
those in
formulaic
favor?
meeting.
Aye. Any opposed? Cool. Moving on.
Okay,
Tori did a great job with the minutes last time.
it was a pretty brief meeting. Everyone was kind of short and concise, but I feel like the minutes reflected what was discussed and accepted motion to approve.
Oh, motion to approve.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Anyone else? No? All right, moving on. Now we move on to the financial report.
So, friends,
Floor is yours.
how are we this evening?
Doing good.
Good. All right, so as we do round out semester, come with some okay news. So we're gonna move on. Our cash still looks like at the end of November was in pretty good spot. Roughly 2 months cash on hand, tracking pretty much where we were at the end of last month. Deferred revenues, we know, is primarily built of the EPA funds, that are sort of in a holding pattern until we continue on with the electronic buses. And as I mentioned last month, over 50% of our unrestricted cash is in savings. So I'll show you a breakdown of that later on. As far as our top line goes, Kirsten, you mind going to the next slide? 2.3 million, just under 2.4. As far as the budget that we've been working off of goes, we're a little bit ahead of where a straight line schedule would be. For 5/12 of the year, we would anticipate being at 41.7% of the budget used. So we're tracking along well there. Local revenue being 7% of that, state funding being a vast majority, as we've seen through the semester thus far. That's what we anticipate, usually through the first semester, because we like to have seen, having already, expended all of the prior fiscal year, federal funding. There is, let's see, 1,400-ish, that we can claim. The majority of that is in Title III immigrant funds, to expend for, educational software or educational activity sets. I don't know if that's something that Copper plans on communicating with, school to determine where we can claim those funds if they have been spent, to help out students at all.
You said that's where immigrant what?
That is Title III immigrant funding. And there's Title II funding, left over. I'm working with Suzanne on claiming that last little bit. It's about $360. And also great news, Title I for fiscal 26 has been, confirmed by the district. So we're looking at $76,000 that we can claim for salaries. So Suzanne and I are gonna start working on that here very shortly. So that would be great. Looking at our expenditures, 2.8 million total year to date. So net income or net, deficit of 434, almost 435,000. Primary driver of that, is going to be, legal services, things related to forbearance that, that have popped up, legal fees that schools had to incur. Year-to-date instructional spend is just over 1 million. And as I mentioned before, the district likes to see this at about 51% of, top line revenue. So that, 2.375 that I mentioned just a moment ago. So it's at about 43.8%. Not a number we can't, improve upon, obviously. So maybe just obviously the heightened legal bills compared to the budget will drive that, as a proportion of the revenue being spent for operations and administration. Next, as I mentioned, our cash position at the end of November, we had $327,000 in checking, 467 in savings. Just so everybody's aware, we're also getting the district funding tomorrow, so we can pay bills. And days cash on hand will look good for the end of December, as the school is not operating for the last couple of weeks. Days cash on hand was at 60, just under 61. One thing to note is, as you've seen in the financial packet that I sent out, or maybe y'all sent, Curtis, you were, I think, on that email thread. So our debt service coverage ratio, without the 400 some odd thousand in one-time revenues received last year, is at a 1.04. That is not what is reported to, the bondholders, because that's not an actual trailing 12-month figure. That's what this is my figure to help you guys see where the school is truly at without these one-time shocking items, included in a number that could potentially swing the figure, as you've seen. So last month, the trailing 12-month figure was 1.38. Now we're at 1.04. That is, because there was a swing in net income from October to November of 2024. So as the trailing 12-month period goes on, expect this to start to trickle back up. But I do want to focus on, starting first of the year, Copper's going to have a projection for the rest of the fiscal year, for where we're going to go and how we can make adjustments moving forward. Not simply to the budget, but if there need to be any sort of cuts, there can be, and we'll discuss that further as we go along. But I wanted to make sure everybody's aware, just where the actual number is, and we pull up our figure that's reported to bondholders, which is a 1.53 debt service coverage ratio, which is above the 1.2. We're still in compliance. As I mentioned, the 1.04 is simply for the school and the board's edification that we can keep an eye on where we're actually at. Now, moving on, after my doom and gloom, We're continuing to accrue the debt service interest. So what that means is we record a little bit of that expense at a time. That way, when the payment from the bond does come out, it's not a significant swing in net income, as we've just seen October to November. When those things happen, the school will not experience a significant swing. We continue to accrue that, which is why it's climbing about $64,000 every month. And so we are sitting at 1.04 right now. Our cash reserves are adequate. We're going to keep focusing on that covenant compliance. So our debt service coverage ratio, our days cash on hand. I'll be submitting the monthly reports to Emma for the forbearance agreement tomorrow. And we will continue on. So, final slide here. It's kind of hilarious that the font did that.
Must be important.
I know.
It's the only opportunity.
So obviously timing is a big deal here. We still focus on the timing of expenditures, and cash outflows. We're keeping an eye on large unexpected spend items like the legal bills from US Bank, where under the forbearance agreement, the school is obligated to pay the legal bills related to bond attorneys. And we're going to keep focusing on that debt service coverage ratio without the one-time items built in. I can't say it louder. My voice isn't that loud. We're going to make a focus push on one-time local donations. Curtis Lee, I'm hoping that you guys will coordinate with Suzanne and some other people to see if we can reach out to people in the community for donations or contributions. See if we can garner some support for the school. Because in January, that's when the funding changes to the 45-day count. Which is anticipated to drop by over between 10 and 13,000 a month. So if we can encourage students to attend Lead Academy as best we can, we would like to. I'm not sure if there's any sort of wait list right now. Let's call everybody in, and keep on with that. Like I mentioned earlier, I'm going to focus on getting those final funds claimed for fiscal 25 if they've been expended. If not, we'll see what we can do to use those funds to the betterment of the education of these students. And Title I's been approved. So come January, we're going to start claiming those funds. And I expect in the next few weeks, Titles 2, 3, 4, and IDEA to also be finalized. And then we'll start January, February, moving on those funds as well. So all of that being said, you guys have any questions for me? All right. It was a pleasure.
Thank
you.
you. Thanks, Sean.
This will see you next year.
Oh, those are starting.
Yeah, they are.
Fantastic. My son before me said I gotta get as many dad jokes in. Thank you. I'll see you guys next year.
You're out, Jonathan.
Yes,
Are
sir.
you out of office on the 22nd? Is that your last day?
Yes, sir.
Okay, cool. Thanks.
If you need me, you can reach me on an email.
Okay, thanks.
Do we need to approve that?
Yeah, no, I don't think so.
Okay, cool.
You're good.
You're doing great.
Great.
All right, moving on to our mission in a minute. I can do it from my iPad if I need to.
You have a slide?
I can.
You can put the slide up.
Yeah, man. Well,
Well, I can do without the slides. So, basically, you know, the mission, hard work, I think what we're talking about, is that, there's a focus on, what field trips and, there's encouragement of teachers taking field trips, but also, there's encouragement of, teachers bringing in people, you know. So I think this past month, we had the fifth graders, a good class of some parents that came in and spoke about, real life application of math, which I think is very important because, you know, my son's always, well, I will never use this math. I will never use it. But, You know, so these parents came in to talk about that, and then we had Councilwoman Lillian Brock here, right? Lillian Brock here to talk to the students, which I think is wonderful.
Yeah.
So the students are not only going out, but we're bringing people in.
Mhm.
And then as far as our mission of have fun, was a bunch of course, ice skating, was I couldn't go to. Yeah, no. But I heard it was really fun, and I know Isaiah, my son, had a wonderful time.
Fun.
Yeah.
So great.
Yeah, so, I mean, just getting the students out and doing fun things and, you know, getting people in to educate the students beyond the teachers is going on, so what we would like to highlight.
Awesome.
These photos are small, but if you follow Lead on social media, you can see them big on your own.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It
yes,
is
they
fun.
great.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Fun placement. Hmm. Yay. All right, we're gonna move into the development report really quickly. Really quick, we do have quite the list of some grants. Sarah was wonderful and pulled together a very long list that gets her approved for the next 3 months. So I'm gonna read through them. She's organized them into 2 categories. We just need to approve these so she can just power away. If I'm not mistaken, Sarah, these are the ones you're gonna focus on starting January 1st, specifically for the bus, so that they can go towards the matching grant. Yes, great. And I'll also need it over to you, Tori, so you don't have to pick up these ladies. So first for the bus, we have the Greenville Women Giving, Michelin, Rewa, Greenville Water, Upcountry Fiber, Floor, Carolina Foothills Credit Union, Indigo Hope, Subaru, BMW, and the CISC Foundation. And then some other funding opportunities are QT and Spinks, SD Arts Commission. That one will ideally be to reimburse third grade play, LabCorp, which would go towards robotics or advanced math stuff. SD Department of Education, summer grant and gardening grants, Sprouts, Snapdragon would be towards books, and then Healthy Greenville too. So that is our list. So if we can have someone motion to approve those grants.
Motion to approve.
Beautiful, and a second.
Second.
Fabulous. Any opposed? Hearing none. Yay. Thanks, guys. All right. The other thing we have to talk through here, hopefully Curtis will help me out, as well as Sarah, if she'd like. I'll get us started though. So we have an immediate goal of reaching just over $107,000 to go towards funding these electric buses. We do have a matching grant to meet that need, which means we need to hit $54,000, so half of that 107. If we do not meet that, then no buses. So we've got to work together to get that figured out. Something that Sarah and I have talked about a lot as a board. Not all of us have the means to make that happen, but we know people who do. We have connections, people who know people who have someone in their lives who knows someone else. There's always connections, places like that. You think about like the 1 or 2 steps of association for people. You always hear the joke about Kevin Bacon, like there's how many connections to Kevin Bacon, you know? That's kind of the same thing in this situation with development, with fundraising. There's always connections with people you may know who are just wanting someone to ask. And it's never going to offend someone if you ask them to be a contributor to something, especially like LEAD. And a lot of times, all people want is to be involved and included. And this is a really cool opportunity to be a part of something like this. We've talked about these electric buses a lot. And it's going to be one of the first schools in Greenville County.
Charters, yes.
Yes, with electric buses. That's huge, especially in a world where, you know, going green is huge. Being environmentally friendly is huge. Impacting generations beyond our own is a really big deal. So being a part of that is a big deal. And while I know some of us might not be in the place to give ourselves, but we know people who are. It's just a matter of having those conversations. So I'll probably continue harping on this at every meeting because it's a huge deal. If we know people who are willing to have the conversations, if you know people who are willing to put up the money, maybe we can help put together something for Curtis and Sarah to speak at, a cocktail party, a brunch, something we can put together as a board to allow them to get in front of the right people, hoping the right person is in the room and making the connections so they can get in front of the right people. That would be really huge and could go a really long way. We could work on that together. We have about 4 months to get this done. And if we're short, then what happens?
No buses, I would add, and then we have to return the money.
Yes.
So we would have to return 690,000.
Will you,
So either make 54,000 or we return 600.
there we
Hmm.
go.
And I would say, you know, Bernadine has really, last year when she gave us money, she told us that was it. So like for her to come back and commit to supporting us again is huge. I think that shows that she really believes in what we're trying to do, really believes in the mission and vision of our school. And so, it just, it feels like it could be just a wasted opportunity if we're not doing everything that we can do to get the money. Sarah can talk about this more, but anything, right? So $5,000, a $5,000 contribution means $10,000
Yeah.
with the match. 2,000 means 4. So like big or small, I think anything can be doubled essentially. And so, I think if we can get 10 people to get $5,000.
Yeah.
That's it. So we were just asked to spread the word. We're trying everything that we can on the school end. If you know anybody that's just looking to support financially, please send them our way. If they want like a deeper conversation, Sarah and I would love to talk to them. We can really give specific details or context around the buses or around our school and what we're trying to do. Any of those things, we would love to chat.
Yeah, connections with, we talked about automobile, clean energy sector businesses, anything like that.
Yeah,
That you can think of, even a conversation that can go really far.
yeah. Anybody, like if you have any connections with Duke or, anybody like that, that would be helpful.
I believe that concludes the development report. I do have the hoodie sale on here. Did you want to share why you're here about it?
You're doing great.
Okay, how's it going? So in January, there's going to be a hoodie sale.
It's live now.
Oh, yeah.
Already
Set it
started.
up the website.
You should.
Yeah.
That would be great.
I just purchased.
Awesome. And you know
Yeah,
what?
yeah.
Wait, does this mean if we purchase in January?
Um,
Yeah.
it's all good.
Okay, perfect. So
Yeah.
this is another something that would be doubled. So one hoodie would be like, if we could sell 100 hoodies,
I was gonna share a picture of the hoodies.
that would be
Yeah.
So
$2,500.
I just bought mine
But-
today.
Because math, that's actually 5,000.
it's not great.
Yeah. So this is a really good example of a way to look at it, as if we could sell a lot of these hoodies, that reach could go really far, doubling that.
And it's kind of small, but
Ooh.
it's just, it's
Black. too.
black
That's-
with
yeah, that's
the
Nice one.
Falcon logo on
Nice.
Oh, how versatile.
there. Yeah.
I'll send a link to the whole board.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can get your whole family for Christmas.
Yeah. I can,
Yeah.
I hope for all.
I can put your link in the board
That would
through.
be really great.
Okay, I'll do that.
Yeah.
Do that. Yes, am I up next?
You are.
Okay. Do that. All right. Good evening, everyone. I don't have much, so I just wanted to kind of recap, a little bit. And I have a few additional items, but, first, the ice skating, I wanted to just, talk about that, how much fun we had. I think beyond just the joy that was in the room, it was really great to see, older students, once again, helping younger students. Our parents were great. We had lots of parent support and volunteers who were super helpful the whole time. We're not only helping with skates, but on the ice helping with children, pushing and pulling kids with sleds, and it was just great helping with, hot chocolate. That was a whole task. So, it was a great time to see everyone come together. It was, pretty smooth logistically. We had, some transportation, little snags here and there we thought we were getting a bigger bus than what showed up, to help, but we just piled them on there and we got them there. I had to end up driving the bus, which was interesting. Had a pack of fourth graders in there, and we made it. We made it to it.
That's like what happens in the books.
And I think those fourth graders will remember that one time that their principal drove them the ice skater. So it was really fun, and I believe we made such a good impression. It sounds like this might become an annual thing. And so
That's really cool.
I believe we are the only school to have this opportunity to ice skate at the well. So we hope to be able to make this a tradition at Lee Academy. Next, we have been having mid-year reviews with our staff, so we do this every year. This is our mid-year check-in time. This first part of our mid-years have only been with instructional staff, and it's been focused on our ADEPT rubric, which is a teacher evaluation system through South Carolina. You evaluate teachers on 4 categories: instruction, planning, environment, and professionalism. What we've asked our teachers to do is they have conducted a self-evaluation, and then we just talk about it. We talk about each category, how they scored themselves, why, what are their strengths and weaknesses in those categories, and then we offer our feedback. And then at the end, we're setting some instructional goals around our iReady test scores that we just finished winter iReady. And so we are setting goals for next semester to push growth even more from January to the end of the year. And speaking of iReady, we are very pleased with the growth that we saw from fall to winter. We just finished. We don't have official scores, but at the end of the test, the score popped, like an unofficial score pops up, and you can kind of record that. And we've been very happy with the growth that we've seen. Some students have grown tremendously. So we're really excited to keep pushing with that. One of the things that we believe has helped with that is our new curriculum is more aligned with the way the way that they're tested. And so the curriculum aligns with the test, which hopefully will be more aligned with our end of the year test. And so we can still see that trajectory. That idea is not, we're not trying to teach to the test, but we are trying to prepare our students to be successful on the test. So yes, we're super excited about that, and we're going to keep pushing. We have the rest of our staff will have their mid-year reviews after we come back from break. That will include most of our support staff. We also do an intent form for all of our staff that will go out over our winter break. This is to, get an idea of who's returning, who's not returning, just to prepare for, contract season, those types of things. This is also an opportunity for staff to tell us if, they want to consider teaching a different grade level or changes in that way. So this is a good way another way to hear from them. We had our band concert last week. It was great. It was a lot of fun to see the kids playing and performing. Yeah, there's been a lot of giving and contributions. Today we got a gift from a family who's gonna help us install a futsal court, and they're gonna donate the concrete for that. So
Wow.
futsal is a version of indoor soccer type. Yeah,
Cool.
but this was gonna be outside, so it's not even, it's the same size of the
That's great.
basketball.
What's it called?
Futsal.
FUTSAL, am I right?
Yeah, it's not we're still, so the concrete has been donated. We still have to do the legwork. We're considering making it like a multi-purpose court.
That's, yeah.
Oh, yeah, could be a running track. We have concrete.
Okay, what is
Pickleball.
Concrete and pickleball.
That is the end of my principal.
What is the schedule, like when's your last day?
Tomorrow, it's a half day, and
And then when you guys come back?
the sixth, the students come back on the sixth.
Oh,
The year of our Lord.
He said never.
Be on the line.
He was.
oh, that's Tuesday.
Yes, so we have Monday is a professional development for just teachers and then students. Which are Tuesday.
Well earned, guys. You made it. Cool. Thanks, Curtis.
So welcome.
All right, moving on to committee updates. Executive committee?
I don't have anything to share that I'm aware of, then we can move on to finance, which I'm also a member of, and we have not met recently, so we don't have any updates regarding that.
All right. And do we have a need for executive session?
We don't, so, Sarah and I have been meeting around the budget and we have, she wanted to propose an updated budget that reflected the 45th day numbers.
Okay.
It's not on the agenda?
It is on the
It is.
agenda for
Okay.
finance.
Okay, so yes,
Okay,
what I
perfect.
plan, I'm gonna shift a little bit. I think I'm just gonna show this on the TV. Some of the changes that we made and we can kind of discuss.
Will it be on the live stream?
It will not be on the live stream. So with the live stream, we're here to talk about it.
Let's see, where is yours, Lily? No.
Who knows? All right, so, I'm gonna go back to this first tab. All right, so, this is our budget draft that we use and make changes. It's a little, complicated. The numbers I just want to point out, so this, state funding, these are our weighting categories. These are like all of our students and then most of the rest of it is like disability categories. And so when we do our 45th day report, it gives us all these updated numbers, which it gives you like a final number here. This is our final number, 387.45, which is a reduction from the 5th day. And so the goal of this budget is to true up that reduction for when funding changes. Thank you. So that was 397 was the old number on the 5th day, and that was reduced to 387. So that's just, important. It's not a true student head count.
Right.
Those reports are based off an attendance formula. And so the next part, I've tried to highlight some of the changes so it won't be too difficult to look through. So some important changes. Let me go back to the top. In this contributions and donations, this was in our previous budget at 150,000. We've reduced that to $100,000. This is just the 387 number from the first page. That's just tied to this number here. So that's just a formula. Next, Chance, who is the executive director of Copper, the leader of Copper, made us aware of something called health insurance subsidies. And so apparently we get money back from the government that helps us with our health insurance that we were unaware of. And so it's also a formula based off your student count. And so that is the number that we were given. And so he said, we need to add this to the budget because that's revenue that hasn't been accounted for. So that has been added. We just kind of created an extra line to add there. So we also added, so originally we had no money in the budget for substitutes. We have added $20,000 for long-term subs and floating subs. And so we have spent about half that already. And so we project that it'll end up at about $20,000 by the end of the year in just
You said how
those
was that,
salaries.
like, to date, since the beginning of?
Year to date.
Okay.
This is directly tied to our staffing schedule. And so there were, some resignations that happened during the year. One of our fourth grade teachers, our eighth grade teacher. And so we adjusted those salaries in the staffing portion. So that is just reflecting this change here. So what we did was we removed those salaries and we just put into those places, year to date, what we paid those staff members year to date before they resigned. And then the rest is, full staff. And so these categories are kind of split into the codings of, you have, kindergarten teachers are coded here, primary, and then elementary. No changes to any of these categories. All right, lastly, at the last budget amendment meeting, we discussed removing athletics. We've added athletics back, so we've made some adjustments and with the subsidies, we've had a little bit of extra revenue in the resignation, so we added this $30,000 is projected to end of the year, and this is mostly our staff payment stipends for coaches, ref fees, there have been like other little fees and things. And so that is what we project to the end of the year.
And that will cover,
Everything, yeah, so we still have to pay out basketball stipends.
Mhm.
There's a junior basketball team, and then we also added baseball. We're not sure if that'll actually happen, but we just included that just in case.
nice. Oh, great, that can be-
So, this number is, this is a debt service coverage ratio formula. And so we type in the revenue here, and then it kind of gives us a percentage here. It shows us at a 1.25. Now I met with Stanton today, and he would like for Copper to like verify all of this.
Yeah,
To make sure that it is actual, this is all true.
Yeah.
And so, I told Stanton, all I have is this document that has formulas, so all I can do is like punch in the numbers that I'm given and see what happens at the bottom. Now there are questions about, capital expenditures that happen here. If you remember on this cover sheet, in their debt service, like formula, they have capital added in here. And so there is a spot for that. We have questions about that, but if we enter the $75,000 roundabout that exists on that budget sheet, that puts us at a 1.3. So, that could be $75,000 of capital that we can include in this formula that we've been trying to get to 1.2 without that. So that's just like icing on the cake, if that can also be added to the formula. I'm going to delete that. So that's it. I think the purpose of this budget amendment, like I mentioned, was to just true up to the 45th day. We're trying to put ourselves in a safe space. Especially, December 30th will be a debt service check. And then June 30th is the second check. And so Sarah and Stanton are trying to put us in the best position to be able to, one, get out of forbearance when it's time, but also when we hit June, that we are meeting all of our covenants. Our biggest, the covenant that we've missed is the debt service. So we want to be sure to hit that. Hopefully. By the end of the year. So. I can't make a motion.
I can.
Well,
Also, great job sharing that. I appreciate you spelling it out that way. Any questions from anybody? Glad that you and Stanton got to review as well as Sarah. Don't hear any questions, so I'll make a motion to approve the 2025-2026 updated budget. You have a second?
I will second.
Anyone disagree? Hearing none. Nice. All right, anything else? Do we need to go in executive session?
I don't think so.
All right,
Motion to adjourn?
motion to adjourn. Second?
Second.
6:45.
Look at it. All right, that's the end.
That's true.
Then we started.
Just ready to be off.
That's true, I do have to run.
That's true.